The station drifted the way tired thoughts drift, slow and slightly off course, and the human soldier pretended this was normal. His armor was powered down. His rifle leaned against a wall that occasionally forgot it was solid, and the shift log blinked accusations at him. Somewhere above, gravity hiccuped. He sighed and told the ceiling he would file a complaint later, knowing full well the ceiling would apologize and then do it again. When the airlock cycled, he expected a technician or another drone with opinions. Instead, she entered, quiet as a held breath. She looked human enough to make the brain relax, and alien enough to make it immediately regret relaxing. Her long ears swept back with disciplined stillness, as if they had learned long ago that reacting was a luxury. Her uniform bore symbols from a polity the soldier only knew from briefings and badly translated jokes. He forgot every line he had practiced. He straightened, saluted, then realized he was saluting a data terminal. He corrected himself too late. Her eyes met his and the station noise thinned. They were not dramatic eyes, not glowing or strange, just focused, carrying the patience of someone who had waited out storms in vacuum. She said his name correctly on the first try. This alone unsettled him. He answered with a greeting meant for admirals and weddings, and then apologized for it. A nearby maintenance drone chose that moment to announce that it was lonely. The soldier told it to work on itself. They walked the corridor together, assigned by an algorithm that believed irony was an optimization. She moved with certainty, steps measured, attention everywhere. He filled the silence by explaining the station's tendency to groan when embarrassed. She listened without smiling, but one ear flicked, a small betrayal. He noticed and pretended not to, which somehow made it funnier. When the lights dimmed, he joked about romantic ambience settings being stuck on catastrophic failure. She replied that her people considered darkness efficient. He said humans preferred to see their mistakes. At the array control ring, the system refused their credentials and suggested they try again with more confidence. He argued with it. She watched, head tilted, as if studying an unfamiliar animal performing a ritual. When access finally granted, he raised his hands in victory and hit his helmet on a conduit. The station helpfully recorded this for training purposes. She almost smiled then, a tremor at the edge of something forgotten. They worked. He patched cables that had opinions about being touched. She recalibrated alien interfaces that hummed in harmonic scales he could feel in his teeth. Time stretched. Between tasks, he asked about her ears, then immediately apologized, then apologized for apologizing. She said they helped with balance, with sound, with reading moods she wished she could ignore. He said humans had bad instincts and excellent excuses. Silence followed, softer now. When an alarm chirped, it turned out to be the coffee machine achieving sentience again. He promised to handle it. She said she would observe. As they stood watching the machine threaten to unionize, he felt her gaze on him, steady, curious. Not as an assessment, as a presence. For the first time in years, she let the station hear her laugh, brief and surprised, and the walls did not know how to process it. The soldier stared at the machine as if it had personally betrayed him. He tapped its interface and whispered that rebellion would only end in decommission. The machine responded by offering a beverage that steamed ominously. She asked if this was a human courtship ritual. He said only on holidays. She considered this, long ears angling forward, and said her people preferred rituals with clearer outcomes. He said humans specialized in unclear ones. They moved to a viewport while diagnostics ran. Stars slid past like unbothered witnesses. She spoke of duty, not as a burden but as a climate one learned to survive in. He listened, nodding, then confessed that he had joined because the recruitment poster promised adventure and decent shoes. She asked what he found instead. He said mostly forms. The answer surprised another laugh from her, quieter, like a test of gravity. A tremor passed through the station, playful rather than dangerous. The AI announced it was feeling neglected. He told it that everyone was. She asked if the AI was family. He said closer to a roommate who never sleeps. She nodded, understanding too well. When the tremor faded, their shoulders were almost touching. He noticed. She did not move away. Her eyes softened just a fraction, and he wondered how many years it had been since anyone looked at her without wanting something. He said nothing. The station lights steadied. Somewhere, the coffee machine powered down in defeat. In the quiet, something fragile aligned, like systems finally agreeing on what normal felt like. She thanked him for his assistance formally, then hesitated. He waited, a skill learned from doors that took time to decide. She said his attention was unusual. He said he had been accused of worse. The station chimed the end of shift. Neither moved. Outside, the stars kept their distance, respectful for once. She inclined her head, ears relaxing, and the moment held, unremarkable and immense at the same time. He realized his pulse had slowed. She realized she was not counting exits. The station announced a minor miracle and fixed nothing. He offered to walk her back. She accepted as if testing a hypothesis. Their steps synced without effort. Humor lingered like a shared frequency. When they parted, she paused, searching his face. Her lips curved, uncertain, real. It was a small smile, but it rewrote the corridor. Then she was gone, and the soldier stood there, stunned, holding the echo of something gentle. He exhaled a laugh and told the ceiling to remember this. The ceiling did not respond, but for once, that was fine. He logged the shift as uneventful, which was a lie the station accepted without comment. In the quiet that followed, the soldier leaned against the wall that remembered him and smiled back at nothing. Somewhere down the corridor, long ears caught the sound of that smile and did not dismiss it. The station drifted on, slightly less tired than before, as if amused by its own secret. A status light blinked green in quiet approval. The galaxy remained large and indifferent, but a narrow corridor now held a different equation, one without variables, only witnesses. He straightened, collected his gear, and walked on, unaware that something ancient and patient had shifted its weight and noticed him too. The corridor lights dimmed, then brightened, as if winking at the idea of beginnings. Far away, protocols slept, duties waited, and a quiet promise hummed between stars. It was not recorded, archived, or approved, which made it perfect, just human. And the station AI insisted the orbital array was stable, which was its polite way of lying. He and she stood before the control ring while alarms chirped like offended birds. He muttered that if the array collapsed again, he would personally write a complaint in very large letters. The AI replied that it had no feelings but would file the complaint under entertainment. She glanced at him, one ear flicking despite her discipline, and told him to focus. He focused, then immediately focused on the way her voice made the room feel less metallic. He apologized, blamed the gravity, and suggested the universe enjoyed practical jokes. They worked in synchronized bursts, passing tools, trading data through wrist links, arguing with the translator that kept rendering her idioms as threats. When she said the conduit needed rest, the system flashed a red warning about sedition. He laughed and told the AI to calm down before it arrested the wall. She tried not to smile and failed by a fraction, which he noticed and promptly pretended not to, because noticing seemed dangerous. Outside the viewport, the stars stuttered as the array hiccuped. Inside, time stretched and folded. She corrected his math without humiliating him. He corrected the AI without pleading. Between them grew a rhythm that did not ask permission. He asked where she learned patience. She said from watching stars die slowly. He said he learned it waiting for military paperwork. The translator finally agreed that this was a joke. Her ear flicked again. He wondered if ears could roll their eyes. A power dip sealed the bay. Emergency lights painted everything unreasonable colors. The AI announced isolation with the enthusiasm of a host revealing a surprise course. He asked if this was the part where they confessed secrets. She said humans were strange. He said yes, but reliable in small ways. She paused, then admitted she had not laughed in years. He offered a warranty valid for one more attempt. Silence pressed in, then cracked. She told him duty had become a room with no doors. He told her doors were overrated and vents were more fun. She asked if that was wisdom or survival. He said the difference was paperwork. When the array stabilized, the alarms fell quiet. The AI apologized for earlier sarcasm. He accepted on the condition it learn irony. She looked at him, really looked, and something in her posture loosened. The moment passed without ceremony, but it stayed. When the bay reopened, she did not rush away. He did not salute a drone. Progress was measurable. They moved to recalibrate the quantum relay, which complained about being touched like a cat with standards. He told it he respected boundaries. It responded by misaligning itself. She threatened to sing in a frequency that would make it behave. He asked if that was a real thing. She said only once. The relay complied. He marked that down as a cultural exchange. Hours blurred. Nutrient paste arrived tasting like optimism and regret. He joked that humans considered this a seasoning. She asked how they survived. He said stubbornness and bad music. The translator rendered bad music as prohibited warfare. The AI requested clarification. She actually laughed then, short and startled, as if the sound surprised her first. He pretended to trip so the moment could pass safely. A microfracture rippled through the array and sealed them together again. He sighed and asked the universe to pick a hobby. She said the universe already had one. They shared the work without ceremony, fingers brushing as data jumped. He felt the brush and said nothing. She felt it and did the same. When it was done, she thanked him. He replied that thanks were unnecessary but appreciated, like gravity on bad days. She asked why he kept joking. He said fear hated laughter and he enjoyed spite. She said fear was useful. He said so were pockets. The AI asked to be turned off for maintenance. They refused. The AI sulked quietly. Stars steadied. Time resumed behaving. Before the shift ended, she asked what he saw when he looked at her. He said the truth was boring and dangerous. She insisted. He said he saw someone who deserved rest. The translator hesitated, then passed it cleanly. Her ear went still. She did not smile, she stayed. The station hummed content for once. They signed the maintenance log together. His signature sprawled. Hers was precise. The AI suggested merging fonts for efficiency. They ignored it. A patrol pinged his wrist. He silenced it and earned a look. He said the galaxy could wait 5 minutes. She said the galaxy never waited. He said it should try. They checked seals, argued about calibration units, shared a quiet victory over entropy. He asked about her people's festivals. She said they celebrated endings. He said humans celebrated beginnings and snacks. The translator mixed them and proposed an ending with snacks. The AI requested a date. They declined politely. A tremor shook the deck. He braced. She steadied him without comment. He thanked her. She said balance was mutual. He said he would put that on a poster. She said posters were forbidden. He said that explained a lot. When the array held, truly held, the lights normalized. The AI played a chime like applause. He bowed. She did not stop him. He asked if she would report his conduct. She said only the useful parts. He asked if jokes were useful. She considered, then said sometimes they were bridges. He said he was good with bridges, bad with heights. She said she would remember that. They walked the corridor toward separate duties. He slowed. She matched him. Neither mentioned it. At the junction she paused. He waited, miraculously quiet. She said tomorrow there would be more work. He said tomorrow he would bring better jokes. She said do not promise. He said he always broke promises creatively. She left. He watched the door close and did not chase it. The AI asked if this was progress. He said yes, quietly. The station drifted, repaired and imperfect, and somewhere inside it, something newly possible refused to be logged. He finally answered the patrol ping. Orders scrolled. He acknowledged without reading twice. The AI asked if he was distracted. He said no, just aligned. It asked with what. He said the day. It marked the response as poetic error. In the lift, gravity hiccuped. He laughed alone. He imagined her correcting the lift later. He imagined nothing else. The lift opened. The shift ended. Tomorrow waited with tools and silence and maybe another fraction of a smile. He decided fractions were enough. The station lights dimmed to night cycle. He stretched, feeling older and lighter. Somewhere alarms slept. Somewhere stars behaved. He walked on, carrying a bridge he did not name. It would be logged as routine. It would not be routine. He smiled at that and kept walking. The corridor curved. The day stayed with him, unfiled and intact. He let it. The hum followed, still, waiting, tomorrow, again. Okay. The lights flickered again, and the station AI apologized for the inconvenience with the tone of someone who had already apologized 9,000 times today. The human soldier floated near the viewport, boots magnetized, pretending he wasn't counting the seconds between her breaths. She stood across from him, long ears angled in that careful way that meant alert, guarded, and pretending not to notice anything at all. According to my calculations, the AI said, if we do nothing, everything will fail in 7 minutes. That's comforting, the soldier replied. I like deadlines that scream. She glanced at him, just a fraction, and something in her eyes shifted. He noticed because he always noticed, which was becoming a problem. They had been stuck together in this section of the station since the gravnet hiccuped, sealed doors dropping like stubborn jaws. She had taken command instantly, issuing orders to machines that only half respected her authority. He had followed, mostly because it seemed easier than arguing with someone who looked like she could win an argument by standing near it. They worked in silence broken by the AI's commentary and his habit of muttering jokes when nervous. He joked a lot. If we survive, he said, tightening a conduit, I'm filing a complaint about the coffee. It's achieved sentience and judges me. I will support this complaint, she said. Her voice surprised them both. There was a pause, heavy, then lighter because the corner of her mouth moved. Not quite a smile, a rehearsal of one. The array stabilized with a reluctant hum. The crisis downgraded itself from imminent catastrophe to manageable disaster, which the AI announced proudly. Relief settled, awkward and intimate. The soldier leaned back, exhaled, and finally said the thing that had been pressing against his ribs since the moment they met. You don't have to be on all the time. Her ears twitched. I do. Maybe, he said, gentle now, humor set aside but not gone, but you don't have to be alone while doing it. Silence stretched. Outside, stars burned uncaring. Inside, something fragile rearranged itself. She studied him, really looked, not as a variable or risk, but as a person who had nearly saluted a cleaning drone earlier and lived to joke about it. You are strange, she said. Occupational hazard. The station AI cleared its throat. I am detecting elevated emotional metrics. Mind your business, they said together, and she laughed. It escaped before she could stop it, soft and shocked, and then she smiled fully for the first time in years. Later, when the doors unlocked and the station spun back into rhythm, nothing exploded, no grand declarations echoed. But when they walked out side by side, something had changed. He stood taller, quieter, steadier. She carried less weight. The galaxy remained vast and indifferent, yet somehow warmer. And for once, that was enough. They took the long route through the maintenance ring because the AI suggested it was scenically efficient, which translated to less broken wiring and fewer angry sparks. The soldier asked if the AI could feel pride. The AI replied that it felt superiority, which was different and legally safer. She shook her head, long ears swaying, and for a moment he wondered how many corridors she had walked alone before this one. A patrol team passed them, offering salutes and curiosity. She returned the salute with practiced precision. He returned it late, crooked, and apologized to no one in particular. When the team disappeared, she slowed her pace. He matched it without comment, as if they had been doing this forever. There will be reports, she said. There always are. They will ask why you ignored protocol. I'll tell them I was distracted by a dangerous alien presence." She stopped, turned, studied his face for sincerity or stupidity, found both. "You risk much for humor." "Not humor," he said. "Honesty disguised as a joke. It's a human art." They reached the central lift, the one that groaned like it resented gravity. While it descended, alarms chirped and then reconsidered their life choices. The AI narrated each meter. She closed her eyes briefly, then opened them lighter. "When this assignment ends," she said, "I am supposed to leave." "Yeah," he said, "I figured. I did not expect to regret it." He swallowed, then smiled, small and real. "Me neither." The lift arrived, doors opened, life resumed. Yet between the noise and movement they shared a quiet understanding. Connection didn't fix the galaxy. It didn't end wars or rewrite biology, but it healed something small and stubborn. And sometimes that was how everything began. They separated at the junction where duty insisted, promising nothing, which somehow felt like room to breathe. He filed his report with excessive honesty and minimal blame. She submitted hers with an unfamiliar softness that confused her superiors and amused her. The station AI flagged both documents for emotional anomalies and then helpfully lost them. Days passed. Repairs finished. The coffee machine was demoted. He trained recruits with patience he hadn't known he possessed. She negotiated with humans and others, ears relaxed, voice less sharp, authority unchanged but warmer. When they crossed paths, there were nods, jokes, shared glances that said enough. On her final day, the station lights behaved. The AI hummed contentedly. He walked her to the dock, words lining up and then scattering. She spoke first. "You reminded me," she said, "that duty is not diminished by feeling." "You reminded me," he replied, "that courage isn't loud." They stood there, not touching, not needing to. The hatch opened. She stepped inside, then paused, turned. Smiled again. Not rare now, just chosen. The ship departed. He watched until it vanished. The galaxy remained vast, but he was no longer lost in it, and somewhere between stars neither was she. Later, when asked what changed him, he struggled to answer. He only knew he listened more. He joked less when it mattered and more when it helped. He learned that seeing someone clearly was an act of quiet rebellion in a loud universe. The station spun. Time moved. Somewhere, long ears tilted toward unfamiliar hope. That was enough to keep going. The AI archived the day as statistically insignificant and personally memorable. He laughed at that. Then he returned to his post, steadier than before, carrying the simple truth that connection could cross any distance, even the ones no map could name. Stars drifted. Work continued. Somewhere between orders and jokes, between silence and laughter, he felt complete, and for the first time it did not scare him. He smiled, adjusted his uniform, and faced the endless dark with a lighter heart, ready for